Oh, God. Guys, just to say that Independence Day Resurgence was a disappointment. It would be the understatement of the decade, of 2 decades, of 3 decades, of 4 decades. 20 years between movies. 20 years before Rob Emmerich decided to give us a sequel to this film. Why 20 years? I don't know. I guess because he couldn't figure out anything. So, Rob Emmerich, besides giving us Independence Day, hasn't really given us any films that are really that popular. I mean, he gave us the Godzilla film as well, which nobody really likes. Um, so he gives us this film. He's fresh out of ideas. He's got to give us a sequel to Independence Day, which, by the way, is a classic in my book. I haven't seen the movie in probably about 10 years, but and you would think that maybe this is a film. For some reason, I wasn't super excited to see this film. When I saw the trailer, I said, you know what? I want to see this film. I'm not getting super excited for whatever reason. It's just I don't know. It's one of those movies where I want to see it, but I'm not getting really excited about it. Um, but I kind of knew, I saw the ratings and I kind of felt to myself, well, lately the critics have been out of their minds. They've been rating everything down lately, and we all know what types of movies the critics are going to, bash, and they even bashed the original film back in the day to a certain extent, not to the extent that they're bashing this one because it's well deserved. But I figured, Batman versus Superman. I ended up really enjoying that film. Civil War, they praised it to the moon. I hated it. The Huntsman, the Winter War, I enjoyed that film, and they gave it like an unusually low rating. Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. Well, they even bashed the 1990 film, so those things don't surprise me. But this film is very, very worthy of being bashed. I mean, holy shit. This was a fucking travesty. I've never seen a film so poorly acted. Now, let me get this straight. Some of the performances are okay. Nothing beats a Jeff Goldblum pause. I mean, for God's sakes, every time the guy pauses for a response or you could do a fucking mariachi dance right in there, man. I mean, you could do the bachata, you could do the merengue, and Jeff Goldblum probably won't even have his response even halfway ready yet. Anyway, guys, Jeff Goldblum's in there. Bill Pullman's in there. You got Brent Spiner. You've got a lot of great actors here, but they really don't get a chance to shine. You know, I do enjoy Brent Spiner as returning as the professor. He's back, so at least you have that. And I really enjoy his little back and forth with the other doctor, whatever the fuck his name is. I have the information in front of me. I can't even find his fucking name. I don't know the guy's acting name, but anyway, but I enjoy Brent Spiner and his zaniness. So I enjoyed that, but that's the small part of the film. That's a very, very fucking small part of the film. Um, it barely even bothers to be mentioned. You even this movie is just it's a lot of fucking fluff is the problem here. There's so much goddamn fluff in this fucking film, filler, and you'll know exactly when you see the filler. Because it's all over the fucking place. This is a movie that, well, it doesn't. It tries to bring back some of the elements from the first film. Some comedy. I think this might be a little bit more comedic than the first one. It's nice to see when a film doesn't take itself too seriously, but it knows the right time to take it serious. Does it? They do that in this film. They know when to take themselves seriously. But the serious parts of these films are just as bad as the comedy parts. And the casting in this. Uh, Liam Hemsworth was probably not the right lead role for this. Um, I don't think that this was the right guy to get into this spot. Jesse T. Usher, just as I thought, just as I fucking thought, is playing Will Smith's son. I see the black guy. I know he's going to be Will Smith's son. And sure enough, he's Will Smith's son. And this guy is a boring, inexperienced actor. Now, there's no problem with picking inexperienced actors. Who knows? Even Robert De Niro at one point was inexperienced. But there's one point where this guy gives a speech. And, every movie's got its speech. Bill Pullman had his speech in the first one, playing President Whitmore, and he's here. And he gets a little bit of glory in this film. He does. He's not completely worthless in this film. He actually takes flight in this film, literally. But it's like you feel like everything was just so rushed and condensed, and it's not good. Even when the action sequences are happening, you're just like, this is way too much CGI, and I don't like what I'm seeing. That's basically what it was. Uh, it's just you're so fed up with this film because the pacing is just so horrible. By the time you even get to the action scenes, they're just like they're subpar. You're just like they're subpar. And what I liked about the film was towards the end, they actually have the Queen walking around, on the ground, causing chaos. And I should really care more about that. I mean, that was something that I'm pretty sure wasn't in the first film, unless I'm forgetting. Pretty sure it wasn't. She's walking around causing chaos. And I'm like, I don't even give a shit about this. And I really should give a shit. This seems like a pretty big moment. This seems like a moment where, I should be shocked and, I should really be into this. And I wasn't. I thought that it fucking sucked. I thought the scene fucking sucked. And even characters, I gotta tell you, like Bill Pullman are even a little bit off here, and you really can't do anything about that because once again, I don't think it's the actor's fault. I think it's the fucking script. I don't know what Ron Emmerich was smoking here, what he was doing. It's not like I said, this guy's even that amazing of a director. He made one notable film, pretty much. And this is what we get. I mean, this is about as shitty of a remake, of a sequel that you could possibly get. I mean, there's cliches up the ass. Uh, Including one character, one nerdy character. I can't even find his name on the list. Does it even matter here? I can't even find his name in the cast list. But he, he's nerdy. He keeps, asking how he could be a hero. And sure enough, they give him a gun. And he's a hero by the end of the film. So, one of my big problems here is Jesse Usher. This guy, he's playing Will Smith's son, as I was mentioning before, and there comes a point, like I said, where I got to go back to it, where he was giving a speech, just like Bill Pullman in the first one, just like good old Bill Pullman in the first one. And there's no emotion on this guy's face. It was like Kristen Stewart in The Huntsman, the first Huntsman movie, that thank God she wasn't in the fucking second one. It's probably why I like the film so much. And it's like there's no emotion. There's no emotion on the guy's face. It's a stirring speech. I am not stirred. I am not fucking stirred in the least bit. I'm telling you, every single thing about this fucking movie, it bombs pretty much. like I said, once in a while, like I did laugh at some of the comedic bits from Brent Spiner, and company, but that's about it. I mean, I should have been really more excited about this film. I mean, holy shit! It's been 20 years since the first Independence Day film. I should be fucking ecstatic. Instead, I'm fucking bored out of my mind. And usually when I go see movies with my friends, I mean, most of the time recently, we've been like agreeing, except on Civil War. I'm the odd man out on that one. This one, we agreed once again. We agreed once again. I mean, we all said that this movie was a bomb. Midway through, my friend turns to me and he goes, yeah, not just but I mean, geez, like this movie should have been classic. Instead, it's like a boring fucking pile of shit, and it's the pacing. It really is. And this movie, it doesn't even try to like explore any of its own like relationships. Like, okay, so Liam Hemsworth and and Jesse T. Usher, they fucking have a rivalry here. Okay, so they were like on the road, and I mean, well, in the skies rather, and they're going through some type of mission, some training exercise. I don't know. It's barely explained. He almost gets him killed. He has to bail out. Does Usher, and he has to fucking. Every time I fucking say Usher, I feel like going Usher, Usher, fuck it, man. That would be more entertaining than this. But anyway, he's got to eject out, so then they got a rivalry. He shows up on base after hanging out at the fucking White House, and so they're face to face. And for some reason, he gets up from the table. He says to get out of his way, even though it's Hemsworth. It's his duty to fucking apologize for almost getting the guy killed. He acts like a jerk. So immediately, the Liam Hemsworth character is dislikable. So now we've got this rivalry between these two. And did they explore it? No. It pretty much ceases to exist right there. Not like I would really care, but they don't even really bother to explore it at all. And Hemsworth has like a friend, like a nerdier friend. He's like the tech guy. And so he falls in love with a new recruit, and it's like the daughter of the fucking guy who's in charge of the base. Whatever he is, the general, the lieutenant, I don't fucking care, even at this point. Whatever he is. Actress and model Angela Baby. I can't even believe that's her fucking name, but I'm looking at it on Wikipedia, and that is her fucking name. And there is this like overriding tone in this film that, like, once again, sometimes I don't pick up on this. Like, you guys know that I do like politics and stuff, and I like to talk about society and point things out. But I did notice the common theme of the fact that the Chinese are everywhere in this film, and that the Chinese this is their space station, and they're nice enough to let us Americans use it. The alliance between China and the U.S., which is not great at all, is perceived to be status quo here, and I'm like, what is, my friend brought this up to me, like, the fact that they're just, palling around with China in this film is kind of like a political narrative, and it's like, okay, first of all, if China built that space station, we would probably be breathing in the fumes from the fucking lead. We would probably get lead poisoning. The whole fucking space station would be filled with asbestos. I mean, let's be a little bit realistic here. I mean, a movie called Independence Day, named after an American holiday, and they're fucking shoving the Chinese down our throat in this fucking film. I didn't appreciate that, not one fucking bit. And then you've got your female president in here, who without a doubt, Stella Ward is supposed to be your president, your female president here. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you how much I wanted to see Stella Ward vaporized. I can't even begin to tell you also Maka Monroe, how much I wanted to see the Queen alien crush her when she ejected from her fighter jet. I wanted that to happen. I mean, I was like rooting for the bad guys here. I really was. I was getting so sick and tired of this fucking film. Of not only that fucking hidden narrative, but also just the fact that this movie was so poorly paced that I didn't care about the action. That instead of going the route once again, Ron Emmerich, you could have used some animatronics for those aliens, for the Queen alien once again, but nope. You gotta do CGI because that's the new way. At least like have some self-respect as a filmmaker. You know how this film could have improved? I'm not even sure if he could have done it the right way, but we should have lost in this film. I mean, the way how it was going, I mean, the way how this film was set up, you want to root for the aliens because the human characters are so unbearable. They're so goofy. They're so dumb. They're so pointless and they're so boring. And there's this sphere that the Queen is after that they're trying to keep safe and they're trying to bait her in with it. Some alien sphere that has like a lot of knowledge and information. And it calls us a primitive society at first. Well, yes, we are. I mean, look at all these characters that are. First of all, they put this character in here, fucking Jude Hirsch, who is Jeff Goldblum's father. I mean, he's in the first movie, so why not put him in there as well? I mean, I'm all for getting all the characters from the first movie to return. Sans Will Smith, but still, it's good to have them all there. But I mean, at least if you're going to put them there, let them have a purpose. So they never explain exactly. He wants to go find his son. He wants to go find his son. So he gets in the car with 4 fucking kids that he's never seen before in his fucking life. They're immediately trusting him. Yeah, I know it's a sci-fi movie, suspension and disbelief and all that. But here's this creepy old man. And it's almost pedophilic in a way. And then he finally finds, Jeff Goldblum. He takes a school bus because their car is running out of fuel. That the kids have their own car. This kid looks like she's fucking 14 and she's driving the fucking car. And then when they finally find each other at the end of the film, he says that the kid should live with him, which is kind of creepy. Why would this teenage girl who, teenagers are supposed to hate the world and hate their parents be trusting of a guy she just met? This creepy old man. I mean, this is how I wanted this film to go because, like I said, I'm fucking rooting for the aliens in this one. The first movie, without a doubt, you rooted for the heroes because they were just so awesome. But in this movie, you're rooting for the bad guys. We should have been wiped the fuck out in this movie. Because look at the end of this film. And this film's already made 144 million so far. Worldwide. I don't know if that's an old figure. Whatever the hell it is. I gotta say that I wanted to see the aliens win. So we could get a sequel. And then the humans could rebuild society. Imagine that, like, the whole fucking city is leveled. It's destroyed. And once again, we triumph in the third film. And that would be the end of a trilogy. And at least you could say that Resurgence, at least you could say that Independence Day Resurgence tried to do something unique. That at least they went the route of Empire Strikes Back, where the bad guys win the end, and it's not a happy ending. That would have been the right way to go. But instead, they go for the blockbuster popcorn flick, type of ending where it's just boring and predictable. And the queen gets shot in her tentacles. And that's it. That's how she fucking dies. Uh, you know, Anticlimactic much. I mean, I think it was better when Bill Pullman, when the shields were down, when they don't know that her shield is up, and he fires a blast, and they think she's dead at first, but she's not. I thought that they should have just ended it right there. Would it have been anticlimactic as well? Yeah, it would have, but it would have been a little bit less anticlimactic than how they decided to end it. I mean, this movie just gets pretty much everything wrong. I mean, not only does it get everything wrong, but it's boring. It's fucking boring. It's fucking atrocious. And yeah, guys, I mean, this film, it's just a bust in every way, shape, and form. Do not go see it. For the love of God, save your money. Save your fucking money.